It was a rainy Thursday afternoon when I knocked on my daughter's door, suitcase in hand and heart heavy. After losing my job and falling behind on rent, I had nowhere else to go. I had never imagined I'd be in such a position, asking my only daughter for shelter. She opened the door, looked at me for a long moment, and then said words I'll never forget. "Mom, I can't take care of you. You're just one more person to feed." She didn't say it with malice, just cold detachment, as if I were a burden. She closed the door slowly, and I was left standing in the hallway, stunned, wet, and unwanted. I spent the next few days in a cheap motel, eating instant noodles and trying to make sense of what had happened. It wasn't about pride. It was about betrayal. I had raised that girl alone, worked 2 jobs to give her a good life, skipped meals so she could eat, and now, when I needed her, she couldn't offer me a couch. I thought about confronting her, screaming even, but I stayed quiet. My anger was quiet, focused. I remembered the building she lived in. It had always been up for sale, sitting on the market for months. With the small amount of money left in my savings, plus a little help from an old friend in real estate, I bought the building. I didn't even tour it. I knew the numbers. I knew the street. And most of all, I knew she was living in apartment 3B. I became her landlord without a single word exchanged. No warnings, no gloating, just a quiet signature on a stack of papers. The first month, I raised the rent modestly. The second month, a bit more. By the third, it was triple what she used to pay. The notices went out like clockwork. She called the property management office, pleading, asking for leniency, claiming she couldn't afford the sudden increase. She didn't know I was listening in on the other line. I wanted to feel satisfaction, justice even, but all I felt was sadness. This wasn't revenge. It was the only power I had left. She had pushed me out when I was at my lowest, and now she was sinking in the same waters. Eventually she moved out, left the city entirely. I heard through a neighbor that she blamed the greedy new landlord for forcing her out. She never found out it was me. Part of me wanted to tell her, but what would that change? Apologies don't rewrite history. I didn't want her to come back out of guilt or obligation. I wanted her to understand that choices have consequences, especially when made without compassion. Now, I live in the same building, in the top floor unit. I keep it warm and quiet. Sometimes I walk past her old apartment and pause, remembering the child I used to carry up those stairs. The same child who once said I was her whole world. Maybe one day she'll come back. Not as a tenant, not even as a daughter, but as someone ready to understand what she threw away.